last lesson for this unit. So I think now we've done 2 units of distance learning, and you guys are killing it. So our last lesson is on rewriting a linear equation in the form of y equals mx plus b. So the instructions here are to rearrange each equation into slope y-intercept form. I believe your note says aka slope y-intercept form, but I have changed it here to say y equals mx plus b. So this is the slope y-intercept form. So this is kind of like the stuff we did in last unit. And then it says to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So we want to rearrange equations in terms of y. We want it to be in terms of y equals something. So first we're going to do is we're going to send these over to the other side of the equation because they're both being either added or subtracted to y. So we can just kind of push them over here. So when we do that, remember our integer signs are going to change. So we are going to have y left on the left side. So y is positive, just like it is in this form here. And it is going to be equal to negative 3x. Negative because we're taking a positive 3x and we're sending it to the other side. Plus 5. So this is plus 5 because we're taking a negative 5 and we're sending it to the other side of the equation. So it's also asking us for slope and the y-intercept. So that's just what is our m value, what is our b value. So our m value is negative 3. So this line has a slope of negative 3. So it kind of comes down, pretty steep. And it has a y-intercept of plus 5. So what that means, and I'm not asking you to sketch it, but if we wanted to, because we love sketching graphs, we're going to have a line that kind of looks like a y-intercept at plus 5 and a slope of negative 3. Something like that. So pretty straightforward on this first one here. If we're going to put this formula, or this equation, 2x plus 3y minus 9, in terms of y, we're going to do what we did last time. We're going to take that 2x, and we're going to take this negative 9, and we're going to send them over. So our next line here would be 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 9. This is different from the last one because we have a coefficient on this y. So we need to divide out a 3 from each term here. So we're going to take out a 3 because we're going to make them equivalent. These 3's are going to cancel out. We're going to be left with y is equal to negative 2, oh my god, over 3x plus 3. So plus 3 because 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now we need to report our m, which is our slope. So whatever is attached to that x is negative 2 over 3. And our b value is 3. Last question. We're going to, again, start to isolate that y. So we're going to take this positive x and send it over. We're going to take this positive 1 and send it over. So just a little note, the 0 kind of goes away because it's replaced by what we're sending to the other side. So instead of just saying plus 0 at the end, we just kind of leave that 0 off. So when we get to here, we're going to be left with negative y. So don't forget that this is minus y here. So our y is going to be negative, which is equal to negative x minus 1. So we're taking a positive x and a positive 1. We're sending it over. Everything is going to be negative. But if you notice in the form y equals mx plus b, the y has to be positive. So we need to take out a negative 1 from each term here. So if we divide y by -1, we are going to get a positive y. That is going to be equal to, if we take out a -1 from, if we take out a -1 from -x, we're going to be left with positive x. -1 divided by -1 is 1. So this final equation is y equals x plus 1. So our m value in this example, what's attached to the x? It's a 1. And our b is also a 1. So rearranging in terms of y into the slope y-intercept form. So on your sheet it says you can try this on your own, so that's going to become one of your homework questions for you to do. So this question says the line 3x plus 4y plus c is equal to 0 passes through the line, or the coordinate 1, 2. So we know that when we have a set of coordinates, it's given in the form of x and y, because in the alphabet, x comes before y, so x has to be first here. So we want to find the value of our constant. What is this value? So there's a couple ways you can approach this. You can sub in your x and y values right away and solve for c, or you can rearrange the formula. So I like to sub in, but I'll show you both ways. So if we are going to sub in what we know, we're going to have 3, and our x value is 1, so 3 times 1, plus 4, and the y value in this equation is given as 2, plus c is equal to 0. So then you're going to start to solve. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 times 2 is 8, plus c is equal to 0. 11 plus c, because 3 plus 8 is 11, is equal to 0. And then you're going to take this and send it over to isolate for 0, to isolate for c. You're going to be left with c is equal to -11. So that's one way to solve it. I like this way better. Another way to solve it is to isolate for c. So in our original equation of 3x plus 4y plus c equals 0, you're going to take this and send it over, and then you're going to take this and send it over as well. So you would have, when you do that, oh God. Let's just start a new line. You're going to have c is equal to -3x minus 4y, because we need to change our integer signs. And then if you start plugging in the values for x and the values for y, you will see that you're going to end up with the same numbers. So either way is fine. I like this way. There's less chance of messing up. But if we're going to rearrange and isolate, you can use this way as well. Two methods, same solution. Example 3, a banquet hall charges a flat fee of $6,675 for the hall and a per person fee of $25. Write a linear equation to model the cost of holding a banquet for n number of people. So we are being asked to write an equation that models cost for n number of people. So how much is it per person? Well, that fee per person is $25 per person, and you have to pay a flat fee of $6,675. This is going to give you the formula based on the explanation up here. So this question says, how much did it cost for 250 people? So if we're using our formula of cost is equal to $25 per the number of people plus a flat fee of $6,675, and we want to know for how much it's going to cost for 250 people, our cost would be equal to 25 times that 250 people. So n, our number of people, becomes 225 plus $6,675. You would go ahead and solve that. So 25 times 250 is 6,250 plus our initial flat fee of 6,675. The total cost would be $12,925 to hold a banquet for 250 people. So the last question, it says, how many people attended a banquet that cost $18,550? So again, you're going to start with your same formula that we wrote for part A. So our total cost is equal to the $25 per person plus the flat fee of $6,675. So this question here is telling us that the cost, so remember that the variable C represents the cost. So we're going to sub in that value for the cost, and that is equal to 25n plus $6,675. So this is one of those opportunities where you can isolate for n, or you sub this value in. So I like to do it this way. I can show you the other way as well, but to start solving this, we're going to send that 6,675 to the other side of the equation. So here we're going to have 18,550 minus 6,675, which is equal to 25n. So we're just rearranging and isolating at this point. So we're solving for n. So the difference here would be 11,875, which is equal to 25n. And then from here, guys, you should know you should be dividing out that 25 from both sides. So 11,875 divided by 25 is 475, and that is equal to, these cancel out, n. So what does this mean? It means that 475 people could attend a banquet at this hall for a total cost of $18,550. If you want to rearrange before you solve, I'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to go through all the steps because you can see the steps, but if we're starting with our initial equation of cost is equal to $25 per person plus the flat fee of 6,675, and we want to isolate for n, we're going to send this 6,675 to the other side of the equation. So you're going to have C minus 6,675, which is equal to 25n. From here, you're going to isolate that n, 25. So you're going to divide this side by 25. These cancel out, and you are going to be left with n is equal to the total cost minus the fee for the haul divided by 25. So you're going to see that you're basically going to get the same thing. This, you're just rearranging before you solve. So if you have any questions, message me on Edsby. Otherwise, stay tuned for our next lesson.